Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Goa Ahead. And the matter that we are discussing this week is a very interesting one. Pramod Sawant 2.0 government has started investigating Pramod Sawant 1.0. It's a very puzzling thing. Many of the ministers, new or old ministers with new portfolios in this government, have started investigating the deeds of the previous government of the same party in the last term. Now that's very interesting. Including the Chief Minister himself has said that he would investigate PWD tenders given during the last 3 years when he himself was the Chief Minister and somebody else was the PWD Minister. The outline development plans have been suspended of all the major cities and townships simply because government says there are too many discrepancies with those plans. Who prepared those plans? The same government in the previous term. What is happening and why it is happening? I am joined by four eminent panelists with me in the studio. First, I am joined by Congress leader and spokesperson Olencia Simoes. Olencia, welcome. Next, I am joined by BJP leader and spokesperson Siddharth Kukalkar. Siddharth, welcome. Then I am joined by lawyer, political analyst and a known sympathizer of the BJP, Siddharth Samant. Siddharth, welcome. And last but not the least, I am joined by senior journalist and editor of Goan Varta Live, Kishore Naik Gaonkar. Kishore, I'll start with you. What is happening? It's a very interesting thing. When this government came to power, Chief Minister made the statement that he is going to investigate the PWD contracts given during his previous tenure. And then the series started. Now every minister is trying to investigate what his predecessor of the same government or the same party did during last term. What do you think is happening and ये क्यों हो रहा है?
I will say this as a cultural imbalance. This is cultural imbalance because we all know that now BJP, which seems to be one upon a time a very systematic, cultured political party, is now adopting all uncultured people into their fore. Because they came to know that with culture they cannot go to get power so early. So it is uncultured way is the ultimate easiest mode to get power as easy as possible. So अभी जो भाजपा के विधायक हैं उसमें मूल भाजपा के विधायक बहुत कम है और बाहर से आके भाजपा के सिंबल पे जीत के अभी भाजपा में मिनिस्टर बने हुए विधायक ज़्यादा है. सो जो भाजपा के संस्कार है वो संस्कार इन विधायकों पर नहीं है और इसीलिए आज जिस तरह से भाजपा का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन चल रहा है उसमें हमें ये इम्बैलेंस दिखाई दे रहा है. बिकॉज व्हाट हैपन इन वॉट एवर डिपार्टमेंट्स विच दे आर नाउ इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग वेरियस थिंग्स ऑफ देयर अर्लियर रेजिम आर डिपार्टमेंट्स ऑफ द पीपल हु आर नॉट इन असेंबली नाउ. They have lost the elections. So now they are going into their departments to scrutinize their earlier administrative decisions. This is completely a new thing for us, for Goans. अब गोवन लोगों को ये सब सीखना पड़ेगा कि जो असंस्कारित लोग जो भाजपा ने अभी लिए हैं उनको एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा और उनकी सिस्टम भी एक्सेप्ट करनी पड़ेगी. दे हैव टू एक्सेप्ट दिस सिस्टम नाउ. अभी संस्कार, भाजपा के नीति मूल्य, भाजपा के मूल्य, ये सब चीजें आज बाजू करके ये नई सिस्टम आज एडॉप्ट करने पड़ेगी.
New system. Siddharth, how are you looking at this? Because I give one example of Chief Minister trying to investigate contracts given by his own government. Then there is a series of cabinet ministers trying to probe the previous term. How are you looking at this?
See, there is an English saying, nothing changes if nothing changes. And I think the change is a constant, change is eternal, change is permanent, and change is here to stay. See, not that every decision taken previously may be good. There may be some errors in it which we need to correct. We need to look at those decisions. We need to go ahead with new decisions, with new positive decisions which are good in the interest of the state. And I think that is exactly what our government is doing. And I think we should encourage this because if we learn from our mistakes and if we don't perform those mistakes again, I think that is a lesson learned. And that is where our government is going in that direction.
So you are saying even if somebody is correcting the mistakes of the past, why blame that government?
No, it is not a blame. See, governments are there for the betterment of the state. And how do we achieve betterment? If we do not change, if we do not show changes, and if we do not learn from the past mistakes, then I think we are foolish. We have to learn from the past mistakes and see that we don't commit those mistakes again. And that is exactly what is happening now.
Olencio, how are you looking at this?
In fact, today, if you see the present government and the previous government is the same government. We have the same chief minister. In fact, we have the ministers also who are holding different departments. At that time, there was no problem, but today there is problem. So what kind of example we are setting to the outside world of the state of Goa? What kind of example we are setting for the business industry in India? In fact, our LOP leader has said to me, what you are trying to show? One side you are approving, another side you are saying you are scrapping it. What were you doing when it was approved? Is the CM completely a puppet, or is it that all of them are in a race of becoming a CM? अशें जालेलें आसा.
This is very interesting. Samantha, how are you looking at it? Then we'll go point by point of about the issues that raised by the panel. But Samantha, how are you looking at this?
Politics will come to later. First, as a matter of principle, can government do it? As a matter of philosophy, answer is yes. Is it within their legislative competency to do it? Answer is yes. Now, if you remember, during the election time, this was a hot topic. Every person who gave speech spoke about this, saying that there has nothing is that everything is not going correct in PWD department. There has been scams during the recruitment process. There has been some illegalities. These were the allegations. Now, if the government, I would not only say that the government is doing right thing by revisiting it. I am saying it is the duty of the government to go into it, and if they were not to do it, I would have looked at it with suspicion, saying that you have got mandate now to cover it, therefore you are covering it. Now, if government is going into each detail at the decisions which were controversial during the next government, maybe it was their own government, maybe it was the government of the same party, maybe it was the government led by the same chief minister. But if some wrong somewhere has taken place, and if government wants to go and revisit that decision, it's a commendable state, it's worth appreciation, and it must be done according to me.
Then the question arises about what the issue that Olencio raised. And Kishore, I'll again come back to you. And that it's about the process. We always say, and usually when the regimes change, it is usually said that a government is a continuous process. Here there is no regime change, but there is discontinuation of so many things. Kishore, why do you think this is happening? Apart from the cultural imbalance, Olencio raised the issue of there is a tussle within the government, and there are multiple power centers today. Do you feel that is another reason?
The one thing is that I fully agree with Siddharth Bab, where he said that change is a constant thing, and also Advocate Samad has told that if government sees something wrong in the previous decision, what is there to correct the thing? That is absolutely right. But the thing here is, the earlier government, wherein Dr. Pramod Sawant was leading 1.0, all these decisions were taken under his leadership. Now ODPs, we just take the issue of ODPs. Now hill cuttings, these PWD contracts, all these decisions were taken under his leadership. He was a finance minister at that time. He was leading the government. So it is obvious that all these decisions were known to him, but he has not objected at that point of time. But now in this Dr. Pramod Sawant 2.0, here the interesting thing is, whatever decisions which we are talking now, scrapping of ODPs, some decisions regarding PWD investigations and other things, CM has not made a single statement on scrapping of ODPs, on the decisions which were taken by TCP Minister Vishwajit Rane. Now, as a chief minister, PWD minister has not objected to road work. It is chief minister who has objected and asked for an inquiry on that Sakhri Surla road. So that means earlier ministers were taking decision without his consultation, and he has to keep quiet at that point of time. But now he has a strong support of 20 MLAs. He had strong support of some people waiting outside who are ready to support him if anything happens. He has already kept team B ready if if anyone from team A
Defects.
tries to disturb chief minister, many players are ready in team B to come and support him. So this is what, but the thing is, CM has to come clear.
Now,
on
this is
this
very
issue.
interesting
I'll
point.
just
Yeah,
interrupt here.
yeah, Siddharth.
Kishore Bab said about cultural imbalance. He said that the CM is was not performing. Is under pressure from
I have
others.
not said CM is not performing.
No, not
No,
you.
he's
I'm-
saying that CM, it was CM's responsibility in the
I-
previous
I-
term. It
so
is
I will-
CM's
I will- I will
responsibility.
come to it. No,
I
I'm
and
not-
Goans wants to know whether CM is affirming whatever decisions is taken now by various
Okay,
Yes,
ministers.
so I will come to that,
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
Siddharth.
now one decision of the PWD.
Yeah.
Now PWD, that decision regarding the job scam was taken well before the elections. To execute, to stop those recruitments, investigate, set up a committee under chief secretary was taken right there and then. Now this is a continuous process. Now as regards to the road works, that road works was pertaining to CM's own constituency. When it was brought to his notice, when it was not happening, see, during elections, the government doesn't have an executive role. It's only a functional government.
Siddharth, I think the question is-
when it comes to him, he has to take action. As a team leader, he is working in a team.
No, Siddharth, the
and
question
mind
is-
you, for Kishore's information, even the scrapping of ODPs is a cabinet discussed matter. So I think this is a wholesome team which is working together to correct the situations and give the best to
No,
Goa.
Siddharth, I think the question is very simple. I think what Kishore raised it also, that all these things happened under the leadership of Dr. Pramod Sawant. Today, Dr. Pramod Sawant, again, the chief minister says that these things did not happen properly. Who is responsible for that?
No. See, every decision.
Where does the accountability
every
lie?
decision does not come to CM's
No, where does
approval.
the accountability has to be
That
fixed?
is what, as Dr. Samant said, it is an appreciable step that this government is going in the mistakes of the past and correcting them. I expect the same, a common man expects the same. If we under the garb of a pure majority, if we go on doing the mistakes, I don't think Goa is going to get anything
Okay.
better.
Alensa, before I go to Samant Bab, how are you looking at it?
No, see, the CM is the head of the constitution. He is duty bound to take action. There is no doubt about that. But what I am only saying is, in the previous term, this is the same CM who could not even take decisions even for a lockdown or even to buy oxygen. We had to go to the court. Today, if you see, he is acting. But what is this? Is this the competition among the ministers and the chief minister? TCP minister is saying one thing, OTP scrap Korea. He is saying that there is scam in the PWD. Was this not seen before? Or is it just a tussle among the government, which were showing a negativity, and ultimately this is not good for the economy? Because we have seen what has happened in Sri Lanka also. So we don't want such, we are already in
we'll
there.
come to the economy. Yeah,
Olenchi in his previous statement said something that business will be affected. Now, why business should be affected? If somebody is taking corrective steps, the business should not be, in fact, the business should flourish.
Okay.
See, they
Siddharth,
look at it from the business point of
I'll come to
view. We
the-
look at it from the good administrative point
Okay,
of
so
view.
I'll come to the business point. So, Samant Bab, when you are looking at all this, ultimately the question is of accountability. Who is accountable? Now, it is very interesting that Michael Lobo, the present leader of opposition, was there with the BJP in the previous term. A FIR has been filed against the leader of opposition. There are other scams or other irregularities or other discrepancies that have been spoken about. Those ministers, the previous ministers or ex-MLAs are in the BJP. No action has been initiated against them. Don't you think there are double standards here?
No, as far as Michael Lobo's complaint is concerned, that's totally on a different footing. That is because that part of the property belongs to him and there are certain violations. It has been issued to him not in terms of accountability but in terms of violation. That's a complete different. Now, who shares what accountability? The law itself says. Up to a particular licenses, it goes to a particular person. Then it goes to a director. Then it might go to a secretary. Then it might go to, if the cabinet has taken certain decision, they have to own to it. If director has taken certain decision, director. So the accountability part is mentioned. Now, I would like to come to this road and that tender being cancelled and contractor being taken to task.
No, Chief Minister went to an extent that we will investigate all tenders in last 2 to 3 years.
Correct.
Yeah.
Actually, what I know about this, what I gathered is Chief Minister is a great devotee of Mahalakshmi, and he himself had travelled by that road. If you check out your press cutting during that time, you will see the pictures of Chief Minister performing puja, and he took the same route. Now, when he himself went and checked the road, he probably come to a finding that it is of a substandard. During the election time, probably when it was done, I do not know. I'm not betting for anybody. Maybe there was no enough of time. There was no time. But now that he actually went, he checked the substandard quality of the work, and therefore, if you see, immediately next day morning, this decision has been taken after he came from his
Before I go to
trip.
Kishore,
And,
there are 2 points. Number one, about the ODPs. The ODPs have been kept in, had been suspended. Government has invoked an emergency clause to suspend the ODP, saying that there are gross discrepancies. Now, one of the persons who did that ODP was Michael Lobo, who is today leader of opposition. Another person is Babush Monserrat, who is a minister in this cabinet. Now, don't you think this accountability needs to be fixed? And whether you will expect this government to fix an accountability on a sitting minister also, who is in the cabinet today, if there are such gross discrepancies?
See, the ODPs are not done by one person. There is a group of people who do ODPs. There are experts on that committee. There are government officials on that committee who actually go through the nuances of the ODP formation. And if the current minister has come across some gross misconduct or some gross discrepancies, I feel we should correct it at this stage rather than, see a building come up on the wrong spot and then protest about it. What he has done is a correct step. He has taken right at the root of it.
Now, would you like accountability to be fixed by the end of this process?
Yes, I think the accountability also should be fixed. Whoever has done anything gross misconduct or something should be taken to task. Yes, we should do it, including the PWD tenders. If some engineer or somebody has faltered, unknowingly mistakes may happen. So, but he should be penalized, he or she.
Kishore, do you agree and do you feel that by the end of this process, now this is a very interesting case when it comes to ODPs. There is one person who is today leader of opposition, who is a chairperson of that particular PDA. There is another person who is a sitting minister now, who was of another PDA. Do you think the accountability will be fixed by the end of this process, or this would just be another political stunt?
No, the first thing, our experience says that I don't think the accountability will be fixed. Whatever they have to do, they are doing it just to put political pressure. The action seems to be very selective. See, I will give you an example what Advocate Samant just now said, that when CM was going to that Mahalakshmi temple, he saw the condition of the road and he took the immediate action. Dotar, I will give you an example. All these leaders are traveling from Panjim to Patra Devi. They are daily watching the way work that MVR has done of that highway. We as a journalist have taken this issue at several times. We are saying that the work is totally, there is no quality, there is no safety measures. They have totally violated all the rules and regulations of that highway construction. Nobody is taking action. Now they can see Sakri to, now we have to build some new Mahalakshmi temple at Patra Devi so that they can go to that temple for taking blessing and take the action. So what I am saying that you are taking and selective actions. If you are generally thinks about betterment of the state, take action generally. I can show you right now, you are an advocate. Siddharth was earlier a legislature, he was a MLA. I will take you to Mopa airport and I will show you several illegalities going on there. So if you are sincere in your actions, show by your actions. Don't take action.
That's the point of selective. Siddharth Bab, do you think, Samant Bab, that the action has been selective? Because there's a very, and I give this example of ODP, and now Kishore also brought in the examples of other major road works. ODPs I'm particularly saying because there are two cases there. There is one PDA chairperson who did one ODP, who is a leader of opposition today. There is another chairperson who is a cabinet minister today. Do you think at the end of this process the accountability will be fixed? Because we all know ultimately the decisions are taken by the politicians, officers are pressurized by the politicians, and finally the buck should also stop at the politicians. Yes, sir.
At least the first step has been taken. At least the inquiry has been ordered. So I see a positive step. I have no reason to disbelieve to say that no action will be taken. Start appears to be good. I do not know what exactly will happen, but at least from the start, at least I feel that yes, it is possible that some sort of accountability, or will see some positive result. As far as the illegalities are concerned, if the illegalities are done at government level, yes, those government officers have to be taken to the task. But then some illegal construction coming, as my friend was telling me that near that airport road, several illegalities are happening. Yes, I also see. I also travel many times. But for illegal constructions which are being going on, very rarely a government officer could be penalized. But as far as this road and substandard this is concerned, I am very positive because CM himself has said not only this, I will be looking into other. Of course, that time the portfolios were not distributed. Now that the portfolios are distributed, I think the present PWD minister will also look into it and see to it that whatever illegalities which has happened, at least at the government
Including
level,
the substandard work.
including the substandard
Yeah.
word, at least at government has to be set right first.
Olencia, there's an interesting thing here. Kishore says that there should not be selectiveness as far as the action is concerned. There's a case filed against your leader of opposition. Your leader of opposition has gone ahead and said that he is being targeted. But what we see is your party has still not come out vehemently opposing or criticizing this move. So, are you supporting government on this? Because you are saying that okay, let them investigate our leader of opposition. No problem. We will see when some concrete thing comes out of it.
No, we are not against any kind of action taken by the government. But what we are saying, when you have a selective type of attack, now, for example, Michael Lobo, that place was an agricultural land. To me, there's some construction taking place. We have seen in Old Goa also how they have given approvals for a project, some other place, and approvals have given at the religious place. So this government, besides being vindictive, I think have done nothing for the last 5-6 years. My friend said that we want good governance. When CEC today has given recommendations to the Supreme Court, our Honorable CM had said that we will stand by it and will scrap the 3 linear project. Where is the good governance here? So we want good governance. That is why we are raising our voice. But don't be vindictive and then divert the issue. I feel all these things what is taking place is also a gimmick to divert from the real issues, from price rise, gas, petrol, religious atrocities, jobs, etc. So I wish the government should work on the real issues than just making issues from no issues. And then
let's come to the issue of business that you raised, Olencia. Siddharth, I'll start with you. I think the question is, ultimately an outlier development plan is based on certain planning, at least I would like to believe that. And then you have given the clearances, you have given the permissions, and people have already started investing money or they have started planning their projects. If any government starts acting so abruptly, now the classic case is a Margaon ODP, which was completed before, then scrapped, then opened again, and now again suspended. Don't you think such kind of abruptness will hurt investor sentiment also?
See, those people who are investing in dubious decisions definitely will suffer. I have no doubt about it. And they have to suffer. But those who are genuinely into business interest and those who are going as per the law, we will ensure that they will not suffer. This is a good governance. And I think the businessmen will also believe that this has to be done. And I think let us not jump to conclusion. The first steps have been taken, initiated. Those who are to be taken to task, they will definitely be taken to task. The discrepancies, if any, will be corrected. If there are any mistakes committed, we have to correct them. And we have to give the path which is lying in front of us has to be clear as per the law.
Samanta, do you think the issue of investor confidence, because of the abruptness, because ultimately it's a plan. I gave example of Margaon ODP because it has been a classic case over a period of last 5-6 years where you freeze the plan, then you scrap the plan, then you open the plan, then you freeze it again, and then again you are suspending it. Do you think this abruptness will create problems as far as the economy is concerned?
Any abruptness creates problem. That I can't see any argument there. Of course, if it is, but kindly look at the kind of work that goes on around while preparing ODP plan. It is put, it is prepared, objections are invited,
Yes,
it is
the
thrown
whole
open to
process
the
is
people.
completed.
Then there are public hearings held.
Yes.
Now, what happens is when you are planning an entire city or a taluka, there is bound to be some misunderstanding, disagreements. It's all, if it is given to us, same plan, and ask us to, even we four of us will never agree for everything. We will say no, here this land has to be in settlement zone, somebody will say that has to be so and so. Data is always not 100% where which the zoning has to be made, where, how it has to be made. So these things always are, they are going to create confusions, differences of opinion, and such type of. Are we trying to say that if we take 1 year from now and if we take all public hearing, will we have a ODP which unanimously accepted by everybody? Answer is absolutely no. There are bound to people who are still going to point fingers, going to go to court, oppose on streets. These things are always going to happen. So ideally government has to come up with something that satisfies, takes care of development, keeps everybody happy, and find the middle way.
Find a middle path
Find
to
the
go
middle
ahead.
path which
Kishore, final words. When you look at this, do you think the investor sentiment is affected, or you believe that if the government has started this process, let them complete it, come out with the best solution, the middle path, as Samant Bab mentioned, and move ahead now?
I think Dr. Samant has perfectly put the argument कि जब ये सब प्रोसेस लीगली प्रोसेस से होता है, हियरिंग होता है, उसमें ऑब्जेक्शंस फाइल किए जाते हैं, ऑब्जेक्शंस पे डिस्कशन होता है, एंड देन दे फाइनल द प्लान. नाउ व्हाट इज दैट? इट इज सो सीरियस illegalities they have found that they have suddenly scrapped those ODPs, or there are some parts which needs to be corrected. There should be clarity in this. Secondly, one thing I just want to mention कि गवर्नमेंट में जो इन्वेस्टर रहते हैं, बिजनेसमैन, उनका एक लॉबी रहता है, और दे ऑलवेज कीप इन कनेक्शन विद द लेजिस्लेचर्स हु आर इन पावर, so that the decisions can be taken in favor of their business. And particularly regional plan and ODPs are meant for that. Suppose I want to construct a hotel in a particular property and I want that property should be made settlement zone. So I use my forces to make that property, to notify that property as a settlement zone. We all know what has happened about earlier regional plan. Then regional plan 2021 government ने notify किया. There are several violations which are totally brought to the notice that these are the violations. So they come to an idea कि हम case to case हम decision देंगे. These all are decisions. These all things are dubious. So जो businessman,
you are hoping that by the end of this process, at least merit prevails.
Yes.
I think that's the best point. I'm completely out of time. But what all of us as citizens of the state expect is eventually out of all this exercise, whether political or non-political, some merit-based assessment and some merit-based accountability needs to be fixed. If that doesn't happen, then this entire drama would be completely futile. Siddharth, Samant Bab, Olencio, Kishore, thanks a lot for joining me on this panel. Keep watching. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.